Okay guys, good morning. I have got a tutorial for you and it's like a little double envelope journal. It's just a little one to pop into your journals. It's not very big. It's just made of two little envelopes. So it's very nice little project to do. So all as I've done, I've got two envelopes like this, and then I've just attached them together with two strips of paper, one at the front and one at the back. I've popped a little pocket on the front, which is just a little decoupage flower on some printed paper, stamped paper, and I just sewed it all the way on it, and I just sewed the little strips of paper down. I glued them and then sewed them. And so we've got a little pocket at the front, we've got a little pocket at the back, so you can pop little bits and pieces in. And what I normally do, I just pop the front flap around the back, and that just holds it in, and it's thin enough just to pop into one of your little journals as a little extra. And then on this one I've just made a bigger one, so this is just made of obviously two larger envelopes. Same thing, piece of paper, strip of paper down there to hold the two envelopes together, and then one down the back, on the front. You can even use a little bit of fabric if you wanted to hold them together. I've made a little pocket on the front with a little bit of lace, and again a little bit of decoupage on there with some stamped paper. I've got a little pocket there, a little pocket there, and a little pocket there. So this is what I'm going to show you how to do. I keep one of these, I make these, and I keep one of these in my bag because I write down all the little bits and pieces that I need to go shopping for my mum for. So it's quite a little handy. And again, I pop that round the back, and it just pops in my bag nicely. So there we go. So I'm going to show you how to do those. I'll put those over there. So what we're going to start with is two small envelopes. So these are just little triangular top ones, because you can get the little flat ones as well with a self-adhesive strip on them, but these are just sort of, as I call, normal envelopes. So what we need to do is just stick them together. Let's have a look. So what I need to do is just get a little piece of tea-dyed paper, and then you just need to cut a couple of strips. Unless I've got one here. So I'm going to use this paper instead of cutting up a large piece. Okay. Not quite. So let's tidy this edge up. That, and then I'll do probably about an inch. I'll just cut 2-inch strips on here. There we go. Measure the length. I'm not very good at measuring, so I just sort of mark them off like that. But you can measure them properly if you like. That little bit off, and that's the other piece, and there we go. So we'll pop them together. I just use a glue stick because I'm going to sew them on later, so I just pop a little bit of glue down the middle of it. So, and as I said before, you can actually use a little bit of fabric if you wanted to. It depends how elaborate you want it to go. So if I stick this down, sort of like try and eyeball it a little bit so it's sort of in the middle, like that. And pop this one on this side, like there. Squash that down. Oops, that one's moved. There we go. Stick that down. Okay, and then we pop the other one over the top. use whatever glue you like. I'll just use a glue stick because I'm going to sew over the top anyway. Just pop that down there. Squash it down. Fold it there. And what I need to do then is just bend it in the middle, just so these are even like that. Squash it so it's flat. There we go. Perfect. Doesn't matter if it's a little bit longer because I'm going to cut down the edges because we need to sew it anyway. So just squash it so it's tight. So there we go. I've got them stuck together. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to fold them like that. Actually, I'm going to pop these flaps in first, like this, and fold it in half. And then I want to open the envelope up, so I need to just cut a tiny little slither off the side, like that, and then one on the other side. So once you've stuck them down, so then it just opens them up like that, so then we can sew. So we need to sew down this piece and this piece on here where the paper we've stuck on, and also down the back. So you just, there we go, so we just sew down there. And that's if you want to put a pocket on the front, we can sew without sewing the envelope together. So there we are. I hope you can get that. So what I'm going to use, what I've done on here, I've just stamped a piece of paper with some little rose, with like a little rose stamp. So I'm going to make, what I might do first actually is just cover this envelope bit here. I'm just going to pop it on the front like this. I'll do that first. So what I'm going to do, I hope you can see because the camera's on the other side of me today. I'm just going to put some glue on here, make a nice big mess, like so. Stick this onto here, just so you get the flap of your envelope, like that. I find that's the easiest way to do it for me, because what I do then, I will just snip around the shape of the envelope. Like this. There we go. So that's all got some stamping on it, and then we do the same for the other side. Glue everywhere. So we pop that one on there. A little bit more glue onto here. Again, I will be sewing these, so don't worry about putting the glue everywhere. As long as you get to right the middle bit. The edges aren't too bad because I sew around it. Oh, look what I've just done. So mistakes happen. Stuck it on the wrong way around. So now that bit is going to be all gluey. So we need to chop that bit off. There we go. Start again. Look at this way, I think. That's better. Silly Billy. And we cut this one around. Yeah. So then we've got the two. So these will, once these are down, these can then just fold in So when you open them up, they've got a nice little pretty pattern on the side. Right, so now what I would like to do is put a little pocket on the front. Hopefully I've got enough paper left. So let's cut this straight there. Just need a little rectangle to go on there. See if that's straight. That's going to be big enough. I think I might make it a little bit smaller. Just so it fits in that bit. That's it. Okay, so then I'm going to just ink the edges. I actually mixed these two together. This is old paper and rusty hinge. So I take a little bit of rusty hinge because it's a little bit too rusty colour and mix it with the old paper, and it just gives a really nice colour to it. So it just inks the edges up nicely. Look, so that's quite nice, isn't it? Do a little bit on the edges of this. We will do it again once we've used the sewing machine. Oops. Pop these bits in like so. To the front, so it doesn't really matter which the front bit is. So I'm going to pop that on the front. So let's have a little bit of lace on top, I think. I'm going to pop one of these on as well afterwards. So that just goes on there. It's either that one or that one. Look at that one. And look, I've got a lovely big pot. I don't know whether you can see, but I've got my lovely big pot. Lots of bits of lace in here. I tried to keep them all tidy, but it just didn't work, so I just popped them into a nice big glass jar, and then I just rummage through it every time I need a nice piece of lace. So let's have a look. How big? Oh, that's pretty. Let's have a look, see what that will look like. Move that over. That's quite nice, isn't it? Pop that on and then pop that over the top. Yes, I shall have a piece of this. Let's chop that there. Pop it all back into my pot. Oh, that purple's nice as well. That might look nice on there. Let's have a look. I'm going to decoupage that on there. Piece some of this on here. First, just a little bit of glue stick. Like this. Ooh, sticky today. There we go. Put that on there. Oops. I don't think that's stuck down very well. Okay, so that's been stuck on there, so that looks quite nice, doesn't it? So what I might use is a little bit of this. In there. Got sticky fingers, so it's just sticking everywhere. Maybe pop a piece of there. No, I won't use that. I think I'll just pop this over the top. I'm just gonna, just so it holds well before I sew it. I think that's the straight side. Yes, a bit more. Okay. So what I'm going to do, push that back there, I'm going to do some sewing now. So I'm going to sew along the top here to keep that on first before I sew it onto the actual little booklet, and then I'm going to sew down these little strips of paper, but do remember to open it out so you're only sewing on one piece, because here, so you're not sewing it all together. So I'm just going to quickly do that, and then I will be back. I'm going to also sew this onto the front as well, but I'll sew the front, this top bit first, and then I will just sew around the sides. So I will be back in 2 minutes. Okie dokie, so that's what I've done now. Just sewed the edges together, not the edges together, the little down here. That's it, just to keep the little flaps together. Okay, and then I've just sewed on the pocket. So let me just chop off these little bits. Yeah. And on the inside piece. Just that piece there. Okay. So there we go. So when we fold it up now, oops, that goes down there. And that goes on the front. So there we are. So we've got the little pocket at the front here, and then when we open it up, we've got this little bit here and there. So now we just need to do is make a little booklet to go in the middle of it, and then we can sew round it. When I sew round it, I sew round this as well, and I do it all in one go. So I just continuously go round, and then carry on and go round the envelope flap, and then around the whole thing, all in one go. Because I think it looks nice with the envelope, with stitch marks on oh, I can't speak, on the envelope here, look. Just finishes it off nicely, I think. So there we are. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to give a little bit more colour with the distress inks. So I'll just get my two that I use. Just do the inside pieces here. So we do the envelope. I'll do a little bit more, because when I just sew it, I do a little bit more inking over the top to give it that nice sort of fresco look to it, so it just catches the paper that hasn't been gessoed and just darkens it a little bit. So there we are, just do the inside bits. And also I think once you've stitched down this bit, it looks a bit like leather. It looks like a little leather binding, or like a little leather strap on there. Got some more inks coming, so I'm a bit limited on my colours at the moment. So I think that's probably why I'm mixing them, because the rust, sometimes the rust is a bit too rusty, a bit too orange, and the old paper is a little bit too light. So I'm quite fussy really, I think. We just go around the edges on here. Oops. And this one. Oops, a bit wibbly wobbly. Sorry if I'm wobbling the camera. There we go. So that's enough for now. So there we go. So that's one there, and that's one there like that. There we go, it's upside down. So that's our booklet, our little double folded booklet. Oh, I've got ink and everything everywhere. Messy. So there we are. So now I just need to make a little booklet to go in the middle. So let's do that. those lids on here. So I've got some tea stain paper here ready to go. Let me just wipe this off if I've got something to make a big mess otherwise. So messy. Okay, pop that there. So the size of the pages I use, I sort of like fold a copy paper, tea stained copy paper in half, and then you can cut it or whatever. I just sort of rip it down the middle, and then we do it again, fold it in half again like that, and then in half again. Okay, so obviously it depends on the size of the envelopes that you're using. These ones are, I don't have a ruler with inches on, this is just centimetres, which is 9 centimetres by 13.5 centimetres. And the bigger envelope that I used is 12 centimetres by 17 centimetres. So I haven't got a clue what that is in inches, I'm afraid, but I will find out and pop it in there, pop it below. So there we are. So if we do sort of like 3 of these, that should be enough. Obviously you can use all sorts of, all of your old bits of paper, your little leftovers, because they're quite small. You can use all your little bits and pieces, bits of paper from other journal making as well. So here we are. Do one more, that's not very thick. So these little ones, as I said before, are really nice just to pop into your larger journals. You can pop it in the front page or the back page. There we go. So that's what we've got for the middle. And what I normally do then, pop this back over there. Where I folded it, here look, I folded the in half and in half, and where it's joined at the top, I just snip that little bit off. So obviously it gives us then 4 sheets. Go. So then we pop them all together like this. And then that just sews in there. So that goes in like that. So what I'm going to do is push it in as far as possible. I'm just going to chop that end off so it's a little bit straighter. Okay guys, sorry but my camera went off. So what I did, I think the last bit that I did was I was cutting this straight. So what I've done then after that was, excuse me, sew around the edges so it's all joined together. Around the little flaps of the envelopes, and actually sewed it in the little booklet. So I just went straight down with a big stitch on my sewing machine. so that goes through the middle. There we go, and that just folds up. And that just folds up over the back, so it just closes it properly. So then we've got the little pocket at the front. So there we are. So now what I'm going to do is pop a little bit of gesso on it, because you can see the difference, I hope. Just, it sort of like mutes it just a little bit on there. So I will show you how I do that. Here's my gesso. I've decanted some into a little glass jar because it makes it so much easier. So just take a little bit of gesso and I just do like a little wash over the top like this. Just take a little bit, you don't need very much, and I just do a light wash over the top like that. Open it out, do the back piece. So you can put as much or as little on as you like, or you don't even have to put it on at all. So there we are. The inside. Just a little bit. Just a little light wash over it, like so. Oops, don't really want to get it on the little journaling bit, but it doesn't matter. There we go. So that dries a little bit. There we go. Okay. So we need to just let that dry, because if you're going to ink it over the top, a bit too much there I think. If you're going to ink over the top of it, it's got to be dry. Else it would just make a big mushy mess. So let me just, I'm just going to take this off here a minute. That over there for a second. So that looks really good. So what I'm going to show in a minute, I won't ink over that because it's still going to be wet. But as you can see, one's whiter and that's just inked over the top, so it gives it a sort of a nicer look. So there we are. Okay, so that's that done. And what I was thinking, this is my other journal that I've got out at the moment. It's on my Etsy shop, in my Etsy shop. These just fit in really nicely. I'll take these postcards out into little pockets, so they just fit perfect. And then we've got a little back pocket. They can just go into a little pocket, so you can just fit them in and they journal lovely. So I thought they were really, really nice. So this is the journal that I've got on my Etsy shop, and in this little white, not a journal, it's an embellishment pack, and in this one I do have one of my little embellishment holders on there with embellishments in, so I thought that was really cute. So that's on there, but they can fit, so even that one, the bigger one, would probably fit in there as well. So they're really nice just to pop in your journals. And there we are. So there we are, guys. So I hope you enjoyed that. So once that's dry, what you would do is just go over it again with a little bit of ink over the top, and it just brings out the little bit more the colour on it underneath, so it just makes it a little bit darker. Oh look, this just keeps falling off. I need to glue it back in again. So there we are. So there we go, guys. I hope you enjoyed that tutorial. So I will be back. I will be trying to make some more. I know I'm just not being very good at that at the moment. I have lots of orders so I'm trying to fulfill those at the moment, but I do like doing tutorials, so I will be back doing more. So thank you very much for joining me. I hope you have a lovely day. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do, and please pop along and have a look at my Etsy shop. Alright guys, thank you very much. Have a lovely day. Bye bye.